3, 2, 1. I think it's fair to say my cycling journey has been quite a roller coaster with some great highs like losing 20 kilos in the first year, but also quite a bit of stagnation in the last year. And sometimes when I think about those failed attempts, I feel a bit ashamed because I also am doing this on camera, but I don't think that's very productive. So I think the best way to continue is to make it a priority and actually get into it. Now, normally when I kick off my cycling season, I start off with an FTP test to know what my level is at the start of this journey. But this time, instead of doing a normal FTP test, I kind of want to do my benchmark test on Alpe Zwift. But of course, today is the start of that journey, so today's time is not that relevant. I'll simply try my best and see where I finish. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, wait a second. Normally when I make these kind of videos, I try to put some epic music in the background to make the video as entertaining as possible, but I want today's video to be slightly different. Instead of the usual background music, I kinda just want to talk to you and tell you how I feel at the moment and what my plans are for the coming months, what I want to achieve. Simply more authentic and honest. For example, today is the 4th time I'm taking on this climb, Alpe Zwift, and the first time was nearly 2 hours, but I don't expect today's time to be that much better. Like sure, if you've been following my Strava, you know that I've been running quite a bit and walking quite a bit in the last couple of months, but I've noticed that has not translated to getting better on the bike. If anything, I've gotten worse. So yeah, while my best time on Alpe Zwift is 1 hour and 35 minutes, I don't expect to get anywhere close to that today. But I should not let today's finishing time demotivate me because this is the start of my 2026 cycling journey, so my goal is to train from here every single week and get better to then beat my time of today in the future. And well, if I have to put a number on it, then by the end of this year I kind of want to climb Alpe Zwift in 18 minutes, so 15 minutes faster than my PR. There we go, hairpin number 1. I'm trying to pace myself on the climb because it's more important to finish than my actual finish time being good, you know? So let's just keep pedaling. Oh, and by the way, I want to give a massive shout out to the hairpins on Alpe Zwift because climbing this mountain is a massive task, not just physically, but also mentally. And I assume most of you know this by now, but before I became a full-time YouTuber, I was a developer of websites and apps, and making a website can be a pretty daunting and scary task. So instead of just taking on this big task, we split that big task into smaller manageable portions, and that's a lot more doable. And for me, that same concept really works on Alpe Zwift with the hairpins, splitting this mountain into smaller pieces, making it more manageable on a mental level. Now, despite not having a specific time that I'm hunting for on today's climb, I did have a very simplistic pacing plan, which was basically climbing at 180 watts the entire time. And I must confess, I was actually struggling to hold that for a significant portion of this climb, so this was a sufferfest. Sorry for not talking much, but I feel like this part of the climb is where I'm mentally the weakest, because it's still so far from the finish that I can't pull myself up at the finish being close, you know? But okay, I've said that I want to make the cycling journey a priority in the next year, so there will be some changes on this YouTube channel. What I mean with that is, usually on this channel there's quite a bit of cycling gaming content on Pro Cycling Manager, but the game's not that good this year and I'm not really enjoying it, so I'll do that less in 2026 and 2027. And I know that some of you will be quite disappointed by that decision, but it will allow me to spend my time and my money on making more and better indoor and outdoor cycling videos. I think I'm roughly halfway to climb. I am struggling mentally, physically, a little bit, but I should be able to do this. So it's all about turning my brain off and keeping up with pedaling. I swear this tree looks like someone's celebrating. I'm not celebrating. Still got 45 minutes to climb. And of course, a climbing challenge like Alpe Zwift is not just about your absolute watts, but about your power to weight ratio, so weight is a big component of that. And I guess the good thing about stagnation is that my weight has not actually increased, so I'm still pretty much at the same weight, which is 110 kgs. But despite being 1.92 m, that is still too much for me, so I'm trying to lose 10 kgs I think in the next year. Because well, the logic behind the scenes is pretty simple. If I gain watts, that's good. If I lose weight, that's good. If I can combine both, then my watts per kilo will skyrocket. By the way, at this point, I've spent 76 minutes climbing this mountain today, and we're 2/3 into Alpe Zwift, so we're not going very fast. And I think there's truth in saying that I could physically ride faster today, but on a mental side, I couldn't. Partially because this was my first day back in the saddle, so I didn't know where my limits were, and I was scared that if I go too hard, I might not finish the climb. My PR on Alpe Zwift is 95 minutes, and that time is now behind us with just about 1.8 kilometers to go, but I'm also not going completely all out, so I don't feel too demotivated. It's all about finishing this. What I'm trying to say is, if I went physically all out in this test, then maybe I go 5 to 7 minutes faster, or I could have simply imploded. By the way, today's video is sponsored by Zwift, my go-to place for indoor cycling. If you're just like me and you want to kick off or restart a cycling journey but you don't have an indoor smart trainer, well, I've got some good news for you. Right now, Zwift is hosting a massive sale on the Zwift Ride with Kicker Core 2, so basically my indoor cycling setup, and I think the discount is about 200 euros. And if you're not looking for the whole setup but just want the actual smart trainer, then the Kicker Core is also 150 off. Anyway, check it out through the link in the description. But okay, I think it's finally time to put on some music and finish the climb. One hour, 52 minutes and 37 seconds is my time on Alpe Zwift today.
12 seconds later.
I'm gone. I'm dead. So that was my 4th time climbing Alpe Zwift, and I must confess, every single time I reach the top, whether it's slow like today or fast like my PR, I always feel super fulfilled. And if anything, I'm the perfect example that even if you're not fit or you're new to Zwift, don't be scared to try it, because worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Best case scenario, you surprise yourself. That said, if we take a look at the numbers, then today's performance is not super close to my PR, but also not super far away. But like I said at the start of this video, my goal is not to just beat my PR, I want to get to 80 minutes on this climb, hopefully by the end of this year. And well, as you can see, that objective is pretty far away. But I'm the kind of person that likes setting a goal that's maybe just out of reach, because then it motivates me to get on the bike in the first place. And for example, if I struggle with my training in the next couple of months and I can only perform a 90-minute Alpe Zwift in December, then it's still better than I am today. So there's no downside to setting this goal, in my opinion. But hey, setting a goal is only a minor part of the puzzle. Now it's time to start training, so let's focus on that.